Fresh Bake, we've got an update for you on Fantasmic and the Trams. Let's get into it. Last week I was going to do a news video that included a piece about probably a delay for the return of Fantasmic. Our hope had been that it would be ready by spring, perhaps even as soon as early March or something like that. But a recent development regarding COVID precautions put that schedule in jeopardy. In essence, COVID restrictions were making it difficult and costly to keep the costumes clean and fireproof, as it turns out, on a daily basis, every day. If they're doing shows every day, they got to clean this thing and they got to make it fireproof every day. Then yesterday, we reported that Disney's discussions with the unions with respect to requiring cast members be vaccinated, those discussions were ended, and Disney decided to move forward with those requirements that all cast members would have to be vaccinated. This decision appears to have unleashed a flurry of new activity regarding Fantasmic. Having made that decision, I guess they felt like they can now start moving forward with shows like this. We talked about this a bit in that video as well. Disneyland Paris. The fact that now they're requiring guests to be vaccinated is allowing them now to put on shows that they otherwise would not or could not have done because of the COVID restrictions. So now in the past couple of days, we've seen things, go from not much happening at all to all kinds of work being done, including work being done on all 3 fountains in front of Mickey's stage on Tom Sawyer's Island. On Wednesday, we saw them filling the middle fountain. Actually, while we're here, can anybody tell me why they're letting water in, but you got this hose over here pumping water out? It's kind of comical. Okay, and then this far left fountain, that one was just below the surface. But by Saturday, all 3 were up, with each of their platforms raised up via hydraulics. And by the way, this alone is a really cool thing to observe. The engineering of all this is fascinating. We just see a show, right? You go to see Fantasmic, it's 9 o'clock and the show starts, and all you see is the pretty fountains and the lights, and it's wonderful. But, they've got all this technology and all this intelligence going on underneath the surface is making all this happen. I'm really impressed by this. I find it fascinating. And I think that more credit, more attention need be paid to just how much effort and work goes into, how much skill and technical expertise and time and all that goes into making this show happen. It really is spectacular. Okay, now that I've said that, I've noticed also they got some scrim up on Mickey's stage. I'm assuming that they'll be working on that, those trap doors for Mickey's appearance. He pops up out of there from backstage or below stage. Now, having said all that, we've seen this before, right? Nothing to get excited about. We've seen them working on these fountains before, months ago, except there's more, lots more actually. While having lunch at the Pelican Landing, I was joined by these guys. They were all working on the rigging up high, the stuff up at the top of the boat. Certainly, this area, they don't need to update this for our purposes, for the guest show, right? This isn't show for us. The only show that goes on up there is this. That's okay, so that makes sense that they'd be doing this now, and it's all coming together, right? But here's perhaps the best clue that we're getting really close to a return of Fantasmic soon. Tom Sawyer's Island is closed right now, but you can hear them rafts all day, up and down the river, all around the river. Just a raft and its driver. And the only logical conclusion here is that they're practicing for Fantasmic, for this, right? Why else? They gotta perfect that route, because it's actually kind of a narrow route for them to travel, because they got to make sure they can negotiate those fountains. Those fountains aren't visible when the water's full and the show is happening, so they have to know that route by heart. So you see drivers. I mean, for the past couple of days now, I've been seeing people run those rafts around the river all the time, all day. So within the past week, I've gone from thinking we won't see Fantasmic, well into summer, to now thinking it could be spring. Though, actually, now that I say that, I doubt it's going to be anytime before April 11th. April 11th is the day when all the cast members are going to be required to be fully vaccinated. So they're not going to put on, I don't think they're going to do show before then. They might be able to practice, they might be able to get ready and rehearse up until that point. But I don't think that shows will start until at least April 11th. But that does put it, I think, in time for Fantasmic's anniversary. 30 years ago, on May 13th, Fantasmic opened. So I feel like, I mean, I don't think they're going to wait until May 13th. I don't feel like they're going to make it like a big deal I think it'll be ready before then, at least. Now, I'm excited about this. I really am. I'm excited about the upcoming return of Fantasmic, but I will say, don't be surprised if when Fantasmic returns, it's not 100% the same as before. It's pretty likely that there's going to be some elements that they can't do right now. Maybe for technical reasons, maybe because they don't have enough cast. Who knows? But I have a feeling we're going to get, something less than a full Fantasmic, whatever the reason. But it will still be, I think, the biggest thing to happen at Disneyland since the parks reopened. That's my opinion. Bigger even than that first fireworks show they did on July 4th, which was a big deal, but that was just mixed magic. Fantasmic would mark, I would say, the beginning of what we might consider fully operational Disneyland. By then, we're going to have the Trams, which we're going to get to in a second. By then, we'll have the Trams, and then all that's left really is World of Color and Disneyland Forever. Actually, on that note, no news, though, on Disneyland Forever or World of Color. Though I do think we're also very close to getting World of Color back. In fact, I have a hunch that it's darn near ready to go. There are still these platforms, and I'm not sure what they're doing here, but these platforms are still up over there by the Pixar Pal Around. But otherwise, I feel like they're pretty close to ready, and they may just be waiting for spring as well. They may just be waiting for the weather to get a little bit better, just to be safe, with respect to, I guess not having people congregating during the high COVID season. As for Disneyland Forever, I got no news on that at all. But I mean, I don't think that there's no restrictions there. I think they're just waiting. I think again they're waiting for the spring season to get that started. Okay, so I mentioned the Trams. You're probably wondering, what about the Trams? Things are going very well there. We mentioned in our last update that it looked like they were going to do some repaving on the tram drop-off route at downtown Disney. They are. They did actually. It's still going on, but you can see that some of the some strips of new pavement are done. They've taken the fence down. Guests are walking on it. It's ready for guests to walk on, and it's probably very close before, or it'll be very soon when it's done completely. Even better, I'm now hearing there are as many as 13 trams ready for operation, ready to be used by guests, which is considerably more than the reported 5 that I heard about. When we first started, this news started going around, I was hearing or was told that there were just 5 trams ready to go, and then it was 7, I think. After that, now we're at 13. That's pretty great. 13 is a good number. 13 can handle the demand at the Pixar Palace parking structure. That's going to be. You know what? Maybe that'll be. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be a bigger moment. In the reopening saga, is the return of the Trams a bigger moment, or is the return of Fantasmic? Because I tell you what, people love the Disneyland Trams, man, and just the idea of being able to do that again is pretty cool thing. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that moment. Man, that's going to be a big deal. So what I'm hearing is that Trams may be in operation and ready for guests by early March, possibly end of February. But I think that's optimistic. I think the most likely scenario is the beginning of March, which is literally, that's just a month away, you guys. That's a month away. We're 4 weeks away from being able to ride the Trams again. That's exciting. Okay, that's it, guys. That's it for Fantasmic, World of Color, Disneyland Forever, and the Disneyland Trams. We've got more construction updates for you, though. But we're going to save that for another video. So stay tuned to Fresh Baked. That'll be coming soon. And until then, follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, FreshBakedDisney. That's fresh with no E. And on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. And if you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Until until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And fresh baked.